Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Gleason, and I'm the Senior Manager of Corporate Responsibility at FactSet and co-president of the FactSet Charitable Foundation. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to FactSet's global headquarters here in Norwalk. Thank you so much for being here today. We're really pleased to welcome all of the members in the audience who are part of the Fairfield County Business Collaborative for Education Equity, the broader business community, and of course all the organizations that are helping young people across the county. A few housekeeping items before we get started. Most importantly, the restrooms are located to your left out in the hallway there. If you need to step out and take a phone call, our cafeteria, and also to the right near the reception desk, we've got little phone booth rooms where you can step into there. And lastly, most importantly, if you haven't had a chance, please help yourself to refreshments in the back of the room. Now, onto the program. For those of you who are just learning about the Fairfield County Business Collaborative, it is a multi-year local impact and funding collaborative to help reduce and eliminate educational disparities among Fairfield County's most vulnerable pre-K through 12+ students, their parents and guardians, and staff and teachers. The collaborative serves the greater Bridgeport, Danbury, Norwalk, and Stamford regions by supporting local nonprofit organizations and initiatives with financial contributions, employee volunteerism and expertise, mentorship and internship opportunities, and other resources. COVID's immediate impact on education has been well documented, but its lingering effect, coupled with long-standing inequities, are where we are focusing our work. The aim is to ensure that every child, regardless of race, zip code, background, or family income, has the opportunity for a quality education, one that will help them grow to their full potential. This really resonated with us at FactSet and the work that we're doing with our foundation, which seeks to support transformational educational opportunities for young people who are traditionally underrepresented in the tech and finance sectors. As part of the collaborative, we can contribute our support and our expertise to the broader conversation and to the innovative work already underway to improve education equity in Fairfield County. Thank you again for joining us this afternoon. We've got a great program planned. It's now my pleasure to introduce you to Kathleen Ryan Muffson, Vice President of Global Citizenship and Philanthropy at Pitney Bowes and Chair of the Business Collaborative, to tell you a little bit more about how we arrived at today's event. Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and thank you everyone for being here today. We really, really appreciate it, and we're very excited that you're here for today's dialogue. I'm delighted to represent Pitney Bowes on this collaborative and to get to work alongside Fairfield County's Community Foundation, as well as all of the members of the collaborative who have joined forces to support our students in the urban school districts in our local area. As we all know, a child's economic future is often too dependent upon circumstances out of their control. Inequitable access to quality education, employment, and wealth-building opportunities inhibits upward mobility. Companies who join our collaborative do so to take a new approach to supporting students most in need here in our community. We are a team of diverse businesses of many sizes who care deeply about fairness and opportunity for all. We want to build strong communities where our employees, our neighbors, and all children can thrive, and we fundamentally believe education is the foundation of that all. And quite simply, we view this as an economic imperative that all businesses should support. I'd like to share with you a few things. In a very short time, we have seen the strength of all of us working together as a collaborative and the progress we can make in helping build resiliency and opportunity. Just to note a few of our efforts. We have invested in summer learning and food security during the height of the pandemic, helping students improve academic performance, recover credits, and transition to high school with confidence. Through an investment with Donors Choose, we led support for 450 classroom projects and 42,000 student experiences in Norwalk and Bridgeport public schools. And most recently, the collaborative has supported innovation and scaling of systems change solutions reaching children and families across the cradle-to-career continuum. On behalf of my peers and partners in the Business Collaborative, let me say how proud we are of these efforts and, more importantly, how eager we are for the work ahead and what we know we can accomplish together to help young people thrive. Maintaining a sustained focus on systemic issues and uplifting scalable and evidence-based solutions will make a real difference in the long term. We invite other companies to join us in these efforts. Now, our approach to the work that we do is really what led us here today. Guided by our commitment to collaborate, during our most recent grant cycle, we invited nonprofits to tell us how, in addition to funding, we could support the work they do. Several related themes emerged in conversations with a number of Norwalk-based nonprofits who were working together to support students' career pathways. And acting on this feedback and with their guidance, the collaborative commissioned the study that we're going to be hearing about today to help us all better understand what it will take to create the conditions where all students have the access to resources they need to prepare for post-secondary education and employment. A huge thank you to the Carver, Norwalk ACTS, and other key stakeholders for providing us with such valuable feedback and guidance throughout this project. And to Fairfield County's Community Foundation, Philipper Research and Evaluation, and the business collaborative member McKinsey & Company for contributing key analysis for this work. We are very, very pleased that you're here today for this discussion. It's now my pleasure to introduce Octavio Colmenares, Engagement Manager at McKinsey, who is going to help walk us through the findings of the study. Octavio?
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you to the Fairfield County Community Foundation and all the members of the Business Collaborative. As I said when I met you, the honor is really ours to be here forming part of this group pursuing such impactful work. As Kathleen mentioned, my name is Octavio Colmenares. I'm an engagement manager at McKinsey from our Stanford office, 15 minutes from here in Connecticut. I've been with the firm for 4 years, and most of the work I do is around operations transformations in companies across multiple sectors. So I guess you're asking, what is a guy that does operations transformation going to tell us about opportunity youth and workforce development, right? First of all, rest assured that a lot of the work we did, all the work we did, was hand in hand with our public sector and education sector experts. They reviewed, analyzed our results, and were able to help us in our recommendations. Second of all, this is something that's very close and near and dear to my heart. I grew up in Chile in South America. Before joining McKinsey, I started soccer academies for low-income communities where we would allow kids to play soccer. We would teach them English and help them apply for college in the United States trying to get scholarships. So that's something I did in the past. Didn't know if you knew that, Kevin. Finally, I'm sorry to tell you that I don't bring a silver bullet here, right? We're not here to reinvent the wheel. All of you and the Business Collaborative are already doing amazing work. What we're trying to do, and you'll see some of our recommendations, are around providing certain structure and objectives to the goals that all of you are already seeking. So let me talk about the work we did and try to summarize it in the 10 to 15 minutes that we have here in very simple 5 steps. The first thing we wanted to do was to clearly understand some of the barriers that opportunity youth and other stakeholders in the region are facing. After that, we established multiple frameworks that would help inform our interventions, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 of them. The livable wage attainment path, sectors and jobs driving opportunities in the region, and third, the key moments in the opportunity youth journey. Third, we'll deep dive into some of the interventions and target outcomes that we want in the opportunity youth journey. Number 4, in the paper, we won't have time to go over it today. We went over some potential specific recommendations for employers in sectors in certain industries. And finally, we'll talk a little about, what's different on how we move forward from the research we did. So let's talk a little bit about the challenges, and I guess this is something we could spend the whole session talking about, and I'm going to try to summarize it in 3 simple columns. Number 1, $42,000 is the ALICE threshold for Fairfield County. What's the ALICE threshold? The bare minimum cost of household necessities to live and work in the modern economy in this area. We definitely debated if that was the right number. We'll set our baseline on that, but what's interesting is that 50% of the labor force in Fairfield County is below the ALIS threshold today. Number 2, the low college enrollment rates that we have right now. 30% of graduates do not enroll in college. And finally, this is exacerbated in racial inequity. For Black and Latino communities, we see lower graduation rates and lower college enrollment rates. There are also some complications for the employers, right? During our research, a lot of what we heard was that around 3 out of 4 employers cannot fill positions, sometimes taking a lot of time to fill them or not even filling them at all. Additionally, a lot of them report a lack of hard and soft skills in the potential employees. Finally, existing limitations and wraparound services. We recognize that there's a lot of work done around transportation and financial support. However, other key areas such as healthcare have yet to be addressed. Finally, we do recognize that there are a lot of skills programs being conducted today. However, when we did interview some of the employers, there seemed to be a mismatch with the skills being provided in this program, so what they were looking for, or there was a lack of knowledge around all this good work and all the programs that are already existing today. So once we identified, well, what are the key problems that we're trying to solve? What we set out to do is structure, as I said, 3 frameworks to inform our recommendations. Number 1, the livable wage attainment path. We recognize that opportunity youth, especially those who did not enroll in college, maybe cannot aim for a livable wage job right out of the bat, especially without that 4-year college education. The livable wage attainment path is an approach to rethink job opportunities for opportunity youth as part of a longer-term effort to provide a pathway towards livable wage employment. Through this framework, what we can do is we can rethink how we think about the opportunities for opportunity youth, not in a single point in time, but as a process that is most likely to provide opportunity youth with a livable wage. By starting how? With an origin job that might not be above the ALIS threshold, but that is most likely to help them move into a livable wage path. To complement this, we did exhaustive analysis on the regional industries and jobs. And what we did was we conducted, we looked at job openings in Fairfield County that were most likely to accept applicants without a 4-year college degree. And we identified those origin jobs that were most likely to result in a move to a gateway or target job. Cross-reference this with our livable wage attainment pathway framework, and what we found is that 10 industries in Fairfield County will be providing most of the job openings in origin jobs that lead to livable wage jobs. And that is made up of a list of 179 jobs that make up these industries. You're able to see that in the full report, and you can ask me questions afterwards on some of the specific functions and jobs that we identified. Last but not least, the opportunity youth journey. We identified that interventions are not a one-size-fits-all solution, right? We identified 5 key moments in the opportunity youth journey that really should be the target of all our interventions. First, when opportunity youth faces decision about the future, well, what are the options out there? Second, when they decide on the next career step or education step. Third, when they do apply for a job. Fourth, when they start working at that job. And finally, when they look for advancement opportunities in that job. And we're going to deep dive a little bit into this. Before that, and these are just some examples of the exhibits that you might be able to find in the paper, as I said, you'll be able to deep dive into all the frameworks that we identified and what I just went through. Now let's deep dive into what we saw as the opportunity youth career journey, right? On the top, you'll see the 5 moments that I described. The last 2 are bundled there on the right. But here we have different stakeholders across the opportunity youth journey. We have nonprofit organizations, employers, local governments, and educational institutions. And what we're trying to say is that each of you play a different role at different key moments in the opportunity youth journey. First moment, facing the decision about the future. What do we want here? We want opportunity youth to really fully understand the options that are available for them after high school. The options that not only are a starting job, but the options to progress in the future. Number 2, deciding on the next step. am I going to go straight into a job, or am I going to pursue higher education? What we need to be able to provide opportunity youth with is all the resources for them to make informed decisions about their individual paths. And if that path is to try to look for a job, then they should be prepared to apply for that job. Third, the application itself. Our target here should be to enable opportunity youth to apply in their chosen pathways of interest, receive compelling job offers, and accept it. You would be surprised in our research how many times we saw there were some offers given and not taken. Right? There's something missing, maybe a wraparound service, or there's something not compelling to them, and not compelling enough for them in order to accept that job. Finally, when they start working at that job and advancing into a gateway job or a target job, we expect opportunity youth to perform well in that job, obtain the upskilling necessary, and want to pursue an advancement into those target jobs. Here is where we expect to start seeing benefits for other stakeholders. Employers having better access to a more prepared talent pool, and improve economic and social benefits for the rest of society. So the question is, well, you've already told us what we know. What do we do from right? What do we do now? Well, some of these steps are things that you're already doing, assembling the relevant stakeholders. Many of you here in this room. We need to create a funding strategy. But the two differences that I will point out here, and something that we did see in our research, is number one, the requirement of smaller and more targeted working groups. Is it a working group that is focused specifically on a sector, an industry, on healthcare? Is it a working group that's focused on one specific moment in the opportunity youth journey, right? But this, what we've seen in other organizations as well, will allow us to have more targeted initiatives that will lead better results. And second, during our research, a lot of the things that we were asking were, well, what are the results? What KPIs are you tracking? We need to define and track what are the indicators we want to address. Do we want the percent of Fairfield County opportunity youth employed in origin jobs to increase? Do we want to reduce the number of the workforce that's living below the ALICE threshold? Whatever that number is, we need to define clear objectives for our initiatives and our interventions. This is something that I see in some of the largest clients I work with. Sometimes they have ideas, they start, let's launch this initiative, let's do this. If we do not have a target in mind of what we're trying to change, that's a clear recipe for failure. So before I open it up for questions or move on, if you leave today with something, I just want you to remember three things from what I just presented. The first is the need to create plans and create a pathway for opportunity youth in industries that have the highest chances of providing them with a livable wage. Second, it is not a one-size-fits-all plan. We need interventions that vary and are targeted across the opportunity youth journey. And number three, we need to define clear, quantifiable targets so we can track and adjust along the path. That's what I had for today. Liz, Caitlin, again, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. And Liz, tell me what. Perfect. Thank you.